Om. 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधिता भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Okay. In the last class, we have seen that Arjuna started talking to Krishna. Yeah, from verse number 21, half of that, second half of that, we get that Arjuna Uvacha. We have covered till 24th verse in the last class. So here, Arjuna started talking to Krishna, but we will find that Krishna doesn't open his mouth. He just continues to listen to him because he is testing. Arjuna, as a student, he wanted to know what is his caliber, possibly. So he was waiting for Arjuna to specifically ask him to teach. Yeah, that will come in chapter 2. Later we will see that. But right now, we have seen that Arjuna Vishada Yoga is going on. And we have said in the introduction, the Vishada is nothing but samsara. Samsara made up of raga, that is the attachment, and shoka, that comes automatically when the raga is there without knowledge. That raga will turn into shoka, and shoka will always lead to delusion, which is moha. And the triangle of these three put together is samsara, what we refer to as the world and our living. And because it is the attachment of Arjuna with samsara, this chapter is named as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. I think with this we are covered in the initial introduction to the Gita. So Arjuna Uvacha. So Arjuna's, how he drops into this samsara will be described in the next few verses from 21 to 47. We will see that. Yeah. So here Arjuna started telling that he kind of instructed Krishna, who happens to be the charioteer, to Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Radham Stapayamechyuta. He referred Arjuna, Krishna, as Achyuta. Achyuta, we have seen, is a very important name of Krishna, wherein it actually means infallible. The one who is infallible, one who is unfailing at any time. He is unfailing person. And the one who is who knows the original nature is another meaning of this Achyuta. Many meanings are there. It's a very important reference to Krishna as the Guru, a future guru that we can think about. Yeah. So he's ever trustworthy, he's ever free. Such a person is named as Achyuta, that is the Krishna. And he ordered that Krishna to take his chariot and place it in the middle, Senayo Rubayor Mache, middle of both the armies, so that he can see the Yavadeta Niriksheham Yodhakama Navasthitan. Kairmiya Sahayodhavyam Asmin Rana Samuchyame. So he wanted to see as to who are these kings who are very eager to fight on behalf of the Kauravas, is what he is wanted to see. Yeah, he wanted to, actually he knows exactly who is fighting on behalf of Kauravas, who all are fighting again along with them in terms of Pandavas. But somehow he got that this one to see whether everybody who promised have come, and he wanted to have a look at them, so to say. Yotsumana navekshaham ya etetre samagataha dhatrashtrasya durbuddhe yuddhe priya chikitsivah. Chikitsivah, priya chikitsivah, who is desirous of fighting yuddhe on behalf of Dhartarashtrasya. Dhartarashtra is sons of Dhritarashtra, become Dhartarashtra. But here we see that he has used a very important word called Durbuddhehe. So he knows very well that these kings who have come in are supporting a king like Duryodhana, who is Durbuddhi. Durbuddhi is kind of the people who don't do things in a open fashion. So there is a hidden agenda with such people. Why he referred to the Duryodhana as Durbuddhe or Kauravas in general as Durbuddhehe? Because of the background we have seen in the story of Pandavas and Kauravas, how they grew up. There are many places where they have Duryodhana and Dusyasana, etc. They have displayed this type of mindset. Yeah. So, for example, when they put fire to the Lac palace, which is there, trying to kill all the Pandavas and their mother as well, Kunti as well, during that particular this one. Or they're calling Pandavas for a dice game, knowing fully well that the Shakuni who is there is not a straightforward player. He can actually manipulate the dice. So it is not a good thing that he can do. So that is kind of a adharma that they follow. So it was very clear in terms of that. And the fact that Arjuna is using the word Durbuddhehe, he is still a soldier, and he is very clear that he wanted to do, and he wanted to conduct the war and defeat these Durbuddhe, the team with Durbuddhi. So he was still a soldier till that particular time. And then he says, Sanjaya Uvacha. Then once he says that I wanted to see all these people, in verse 24, we find that Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjaya comes now in terms of what happened after that. Eva mukto Hrishikeshaha Gudakeshena Bharata Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Stapayitva Radhottamam. So it appears as if Krishna wanted to test Arjuna at this particular time, because suddenly out of nowhere Arjuna asked him or ordered him to place his chariot in between the two armies so that he can see. He wanted to test that particular Arjuna's intention of why he wanted to ask him to place the chariot in between. If you see, actually, in Bhagavad Gita, in other Upanishads also, we see a lot of importance is given to ahimsa. Ahimsa is ahimsa paramo dharma. That is what Shastras talk about. Yeah. So, conducting a war against anybody, there will be himsa. There is no doubt about that. So he knows very well, and Arjuna also knows very well when to do the war, when not to do the war. When dharma is involved, obviously there won't be any war. But if some kings who are only doing ahimsa, who only know how to follow adharma, then that adharma requires himsa to be followed. Yeah, himsa to be put across. So Krishna wanted to possibly the test Arjuna as well. So what he did, Gudakeshena Bharata. Gudakesha we have seen, Isha Guda. Guda means actually Tamoguna. So one who has overcome, Isha is Lord of the Tamoguna, means what? He has overcome the Tamoguna. So Arjuna is somebody who is a Kshatriya. So he is definitely having a Rajoguna Pradhana nature with him. So he is being referred to as Gudakesha. Gudakesha is referring to Arjuna. And uh, just to make sure that Krishna is over and above that, he is referred to as Rishikesha. We have seen Rishikesha is somebody who has total control over the senses. Rishika Isha. That is Rishikesha. So Krishna is that one who has actually total control over the senses. So he is a total Sattva Guna Pradhana person, and Arjuna is Gudakesha. So he has not yet reached that particular place of Sattva Guna, but he is totally overcome the Tamo Guna. So he is referred to as the Tamo Guna, king of Tamo Guna, or Isha, one who has overcome the Tamo Guna. Bhishma Drona Pramukata. So in the verse 25, we have not read that particular verse, so we will read and then continue. Yeah. Bhishma Drona Pramukatah. Bhishma Drona Pramukatah. Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam. Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam. Uvacha Partha Pashyaitan. Uvacha Partha Pashyaitan. Samavetan Kuruniti. Samavetan Kuruniti. Samavetan, people who have assembled. Who have assembled? Kuru. Kuru means Etan Kurun. These Kauravas who are there. So, although Arjuna, as I told you, Pandavas are also, really speaking, Kauravas only. They belong to the same Kuru dynasty, but they are, to make them different from Duryodhana and all. Duryodhana, Dusyasana, those 100 people are referred to as Kauravas, and these people are referred to as Pandava, sons of Pandu. So Pandavas and Kauravas. So he wanted, what he said, I wanted to see the Rathottamam Madhye Ubhayor Senayor. So again, between the two armies, he wanted who placed the Rishikesha, placed the Radhottamam, and he says, Partha, O Arjuna, Esha Etan Kurun. So these Kauravas, Samavetan, who are assembled, and great warriors who are there in front of them, he went and placed the chariot. Yeah. So, but it appears as if there is some kind of a test that is going on here. Why? Last class, actually, I mentioned that Krishna could have parked his chariot in front of all the known enemies of Arjuna, like Duryodhana, Dusyasana, Karna, so many others, Krupacharya. There's so many others who are there in terms of where Arjuna doesn't have that kind of an attachment. But where Krishna went and parked there is Bhishma Drona Pramukatah. Right in front of Bhishma and Drona, he parked the vehicle, a chariot. Sarveshamchi Mahikshitam. He said, okay, now Vachapar Pashetan, Samavetan Kuruniti. He says, you now see, whomever you want to see, you see these Kauravas who are there in front, with whom you will be fighting the war. And once he says, Partha Samavetan Kurun Pashya. Pashya means see. So because Partha wanted to see the Kurus, he says, okay, now I have parked the chariot. Now you see and see all the Kauravas whom you are about to fight the war with. Verse 26, yeah. Tatra pasyat sthitaन् Pardhah. Tatra pasyat sthitaन् Pardhah. Pitrunadha pitamahan. Pitrunadha pitamahan. Acharyan matulan bhratrun. Acharyan matulan bhratrun. Putran pautran sakhinstada. Pautran sakhinstada. So here Arjuna saw whom all he did see. There no longer we are seeing that Arjuna's mind is being read by Sanjaya here. In the sense, he is not seeing Duryodhana, Bhishma, Dronacharya, Krupa. The names are not coming. The relationships are being mentioned here. Very clearly, the attachment that he has with the people standing in front of him are being seen. So what he is seeing, he is not seeing enemy army there. He is seeing his own relatives standing right in front of him. So here everything is appears to be um, in uh, in plural. So here he says there are tatra pasya stitan partha pitrunadha. So he see fathers. So he saw many fathers in front of him. He saw pitamahan. Pitamahan is the grandfathers. Acharyan. There are many gurus that he is seeing, teachers. Matulan. Matulan is mama. Mother's brothers is Matulan. Bhatrun. Uh, so he is seeing all the cousins who are there. Putran, Pautran. He is seeing his own sons, his own grandsons. Sakhim stada. Sakhim are friends. So he is seeing his own friends in front of him, standing, eager to fight. We must not forget that. So the question is, others, Acharyan can be many, or brothers can be many, or friends can be many. But how fathers are many, some question might come as to why a plural is used for the term of father. So our Shastras actually talk about that fathers are equivalent to father. There are many such relationships, they say, yeah. For example, biological father anyway is a father. Yeah. Sometimes if the father is not able to conduct Upanayanam ceremony, where the sacred thread is given to the person, so such a person is equivalent to a father. Yeah, so they can be father as well. For example, if father is not there, grandparent might give you the Upanayanam ceremony can be conducted by somebody else, some other Brahman. When that happens, automatically he is equivalent to a father, for example. And a guru is equivalent to a father. One who gives knowledge to you is equivalent to a father. Similarly, if you go to any place, for example, and you are hungry, if somebody gives you food, annadata is equivalent to a father. You are expected to treat such a person as your own father. And another this one is if you are fearful of in some situations, if somebody comes and gives you certain knowledge or even help in terms of taking out that fear, such a person is also referred to as the equivalent to a father. So there are many such instances when a person can be treated as equivalent to a father, they say. So that is why it says Pitrunadha, Pitamaha. Similarly, when so many fathers are there, similarly many grandfathers can also be there. Apart from the fact that grandfathers are from mother's side, father's side, their uncles, everybody becomes a grandfather. So everything you will see, Acharyan, for example. We may think that Dronacharya is the only guru, But no, Krupacharya also taught him many things. Bhishma has taught him many things. So there are many gurus where Pandavas have learned from, so to say. And Krishna himself is the Mahaguru for the Pandavas. So there are many gurus which are there. So everything is in terms of plural that we see. Main aspect of this is that he is actually seeing now not the people and army soldiers or enemy soldiers in front of him. He started seeing the relatives with whom he has attachment. As I mentioned, the main aspect of Arjuna Vishada Yoga is these three aspects of Raga, Shoka, and Moha. These three you will see how Arjuna goes through all the three aspects that we say is one which binds the person to the samsara. Yeah. So this the bandhu, moment we say bandhu, bandhu means one with a bond of attachment. Bandhu, we say relatives are called bandhu. Why it is so? Because I have an attachment with them. Bond of attachment, when it is strong, a person becomes a bandhu. Yeah. So bandhavaha. And after intensely seeing all these people, um, uh, in the next verse, okay, 27 we will see as well. Yeah. 27 and 26 and 27 is a kind of a continuation of what is happening to Arjuna in terms of his attachment to the people around him. Swasuran suhrdhaschaiva senayorubhayorapi Tan samikshya sa kaunteyah sarvan bandhunavastitan. So when Arjuna saw that his own uncles and other relatives, he saw that, and half of verse 28 becomes part of this seeing and reacting. So we will read the first line of verse 28 as well. Krupaya paraya vishtah vishidanidamabravit. Abravit, Arjuna told. What did he say? Is Krupaya Paraya Vishtaha. Krupaya Paraya Vishtaha. Kripa, sometimes Krupa word can be used for compassion. Yeah, so that is not compassion here we are talking about. Compassion is for a realized master. A Ajnani, a ignorant person, same compassion will turn into attachment. So here for Arjuna, who is a ignorant person right now, because the Gita is still yet to come, it does not mean compassion, but Krupa here means attachment. Krupanaha is another word that normally used for this. Krupanaha, one who deserves sympathy, is Krupanaha. So Krupa here means attachment, not the compassion that we are talking about. Yeah, compassion belongs to a jnani, attachment belongs to a ajnani. So this is the major difference between the same word why Krupa is used here. Krupanaha is the term that is used. So here Krupa is when we say it is attachment, Krupa translates into raga. So Arjuna is overtaken by the attachment that is there already in his mind for the people who are right in front of him. Because it is Bhishma, it is Drona. Imagine when throughout their childhood, these two people have taken care of him in terms of teachers. They are teachers as well as the relatives who are associated with his childhood. For long years that he has played in the lap of Bhishma, Krupacharya, Dronacharya. and suddenly he is placed right in front of them for fighting a war against him. Therefore, ragena avishtaha. Avishtaha, it is like, person standing in front of on the beach when a huge wave comes and takes over. So one who is overtaken by the power of that wave, in this particular case, in this particular case, it is the emotion of the attachment that comes over. That is the avishta that we are talking about. Krupaya parayavishtaha. So he is overtaken by the emotion of seeing his own relatives. He is not seeing anymore, as I told you, the army or enemy's army. He started seeing them, all of them, as friends, sons, grandsons, and his own gurus, and people like Dronacharya, Krupacharya, and Bhishma. So Ragena Avishtaha, he is overpowered by the emotion. Vishidannat Abhravi. After seeing emotion is overtaking such a person, he started Abravit, he started talking. And so Arjuna's um, uh, initially what he had was an anger for the enemy's army, which is there in front of him, because he told that they are all durbuddehe. Unless you have an anger, you don't use such words for the anybody. So when he says durbuddehe, I want to see such a people, suddenly all that durbuddhi has gone, and what he is seeing is only his own relative standing in front of him. Yeah. Krupaya avishta, overpowered by this fundamental problem of samsara, which is the raga. So the attachment now has overtaken the Arjuna. So the soldier in Arjuna has become a samsari Arjuna. Yeah. Okay. And once that happens, raga, as I told you, will obviously lead. Once the raga overtakes the mind, what will come to is the shoka. Shoka is the sadness that is there associated with the raga. When you cannot achieve what that particular raga, in terms of this one, what results is an automatic second one, which is called shoka, which will be followed by moha. Moha is the delusion. When raga overtakes, or samsara overtakes the mind, you feel sadness associated. Why this is happening? Why is that people like Bhishma, people like Drona, why are they fighting against me? So automatically a shoka comes into picture. Once the shoka overtakes the mind, the decisions that one takes automatically will be a wrong decisions a person will take. Yeah. So that objectiveness will go away and you go into a moha. So wrong things appear to be right when it is coming to one takes the decisions with a mind that is overtaken by raga and overpowered by the grief, which is the shoka. Yeah, very, very difficult to handle this particular um, uh, emotion when it comes to this. Yeah. So Arjuna Uvacha, second line of verse 28 we will read. Yeah. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Drishtve swajanam Krishna.
Drishtve swajanam Krishna.
Yuyutsum samupastitam. Yuyutsum samapastitam. Maybe we can read 29 also, yeah? And then move forward. 29 also we will read. Sidanti mama gatrani.
Sidanti
Mama gatrani. Mukham cha parisushyati. Mukham cha parisushyati. Vepaduscha sharire me. Vepaduscha sharire me. रोमहर्षश्च जायते रोमहर्षस्य जायते. So here we are seeing Drushmemam Swajanam Krishna. So this word Swajanam will be used by Arjuna in the coming verses in chapter 1 and initial verses of chapter 2 as well. Yeah. So instead of seeing an enemy, Arjuna started seeing everybody as my people. Swajanam. Swajanam. Janam is the people. Swajanam is my people. So automatically from the relatives, they all being treated as Swajanam. My own people I am fighting with. My own people I will be killing. Although there is no guarantee. Bhishma is capable of killing Arjuna. Dronacharya definitely is capable of killing Arjuna. We have seen, including Ashwadhama, is capable of killing Arjuna. Any one of them, Maharathis, can kill Arjuna as well. But somehow, when he is seeing them as Swajanam and standing in front of him, and with Krishna next to his side, he has taken for granted that he is the one who will be killing all these people in front of them. So that problem of raga is the first symptom of this samsara. Now, from this verse 28, 29 up to 31, the, the sorrow of Arjuna, the second symptom, will be described by Vyasacharya. Up to verse 31, you will see that Arjuna falls into the trap of the grief that follows the attachment. So here he is telling Sidanti Mamagatrani. So after seeing that Arjuna, that intense feelings that he has for the relatives and the gurus and their own grandfathers, etc., in front of them, it is showing in terms of physical symptoms. At physical level also, all these aspects are coming to impact him. And he says, Sidanti Mamagatrani. Sidanti Mamagatrani, having seen Arjuna Uvacha, we have seen Drushmemam Swajanam Krishna. After seeing my own people, Swajanam, the relatives of mine, Samupastitam, who are assembled here, Yuyutsuk, that means eager to fight, Mama Gatrani. Gatrani means my limbs, which are there, Sidanti. They are drooping. Yeah. Cha mukham parisushyati. Mukham means not face, mukham means the mouth. Parisushyati, it started drying up. My mouth is drying up. He is actually telling what symptoms he is feeling when such a attachment and grief is overtaking him. Yeah. Parisushyati. Parisushyati is drying up. Vepatuhu cha. Vepatu, my whole body is shivering. Shivering as is coming up. Cha shari romaharshate. Romaharsha, the hairs on my body are standing up. Romaharshata jayate, occurring. Sharire me. Gandivam, that comes as the next verse again. Now verse 30, if you see, Gandivam shramshate hastat. Gandivam shramsate hastat. Tvakchaiva paridahyate.
Tvakchaiva paridahyate.
Na cha shaknomyavastatum. Na cha shaknomyavastatum. Brahmativa cha me manaha. Brahmativa cha me manaha. So Gandivam Shrasate. Shrasate, the Gandiva is the name of Arjuna's bow. So it is slipping. The Gandiva is slipping out of his hand, Hastate, from the hand. Chayeva, and Tvak Paridahyate. It's as if my skin is burning, he's telling. See how he is going into the fear factor and also the factors of grief that is overtaking. Tvak is the skin. Paridahyate, the skin as if it is burning. That is how he is feeling. Na shaknomi, I am not able to avastatum, to even stand. I am not able to even stand. Chame manaha, my mind also, cha brahmativa. Brahmativa It's as if my mind is reeling. So he is not able to stand. The hands are not functioning. So not only his jnanendriyas are not functioning, even karmendriyas stop functioning as such. And Keshava, we have seen already the meaning of Keshava being referred to as Krishna. Pashyami, I see. Viparitani nimittani cha. Nimitta is referred to as omen. Yeah. So Viparitani nimitta, adverse omens are coming into the to his this one. So this we will see in the verse 31. Yeah. निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
विपरीतानि केशव
विपरीतानि
केशव
केशव
न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि
न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि
हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे.
हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे.
So here in the verse from 29 to 31, we are seeing the physical aspects of the grief that Arjuna is experiencing. So he started by telling, Sidanti mamagatrani mukham cha parisushyati. So his whole body is shivering and the mouth is becoming dry. Roma harshasya jayate, it's as if the hairs are standing on their edge. Gandivam shashante hastat, the Gandiva, the bow of Arjuna, is slipping from his hands, and the skin is burning. Tvakchaiva paridahyate, nacha shnokyomya vavasthatum brahmativa cha me manah. So the mind is spinning as if that is happening, and he started seeing all bad omens as well. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani Keshava. Oh Keshava, I am seeing all bad omens in front of me as if I cannot deal with such a this one. Nacha shreyo pashyami hatpa svajana mahave. And he started telling that I don't think I will be. We are we will be gaining anything by killing my own people. Yeah, by killing my own people. Cha hatva, moreover, swajanam, by killing my own people, ahave, in this war, anupashyami, I do not see shreya. Shreya is a very good word that he uses. Shreya is something which happens to the good of the person. Shreya, preya. We have seen this in Krishna Upanishad also, these two terms, wherein Krishna is now telling, Arjuna is telling, by killing my own people, what good it will bring to me. Shreya hai. I am not seeing any good that is coming just by killing my own people. Yeah. So here, Hatva Swajana Mahave. So by killing our own people, I don't think I will earn any good thing by killing Swajana, my own people. There is no point in, I am not seeing anything. In fact, I am seeing all bad omens coming, means my future will not be good if I kill my own people here standing in front of me. So here we are seeing Arjuna very clearly is being overtaken by the emotion of the attachments that he felt for people in front, especially people like Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya, Krupacharya, for all whom he had great respect and love throughout his life. Yeah, they were the people who guided them. Those are the people who actually trained him, educated him. Such people standing in front, suddenly the attachment has overtaken him. So what Gurudev says here is, it is not that suddenly this has come to Arjuna. These type of feelings will be hidden in each one of us. We think we are very objective in our assessment, and we can deal with the world very objectively. But the moment when the attachment overtakes the mind, you never know when that happens, But when that happens, especially when you are seeing your own relatives right in front of you, such a fear overtakes you because of the attachment that is associated. Many examples we normally hear. One of the examples we hear will be, for example, a surgeon who is there and known for doing very complicated surgeries. Very high name is there, good name is there, and everybody recognizes him to be the best surgeon in the city. But they say, when if the patient in front of such surgeon is his own daughter, his own wife, then no longer all his skills, whatever he has developed over a period of time, will stop working, because these are the exact symptoms that surgeon might face as well. The hands will start shivering, the feet starts giving away, the fear overtakes the mind, and the attachment which is there associated automatically brings in the fear of failure will come on to such a surgeon. Yeah. So this is not something which is only limited to Arjuna. All of us have similar attachments in our life, and if these attachments people are, if adharma comes in between such a person in front of you vis-a-vis your own self, that is when the fear factor will overtake, emotion of attachment will overtake, no longer the mind will start functioning properly. So it is not really a fight between Kauravas and Pandavas only that we are talking about. Here, Arjuna knew very well, after going through a life of a miserable people, how they behaved with them. Not only him, but all the five brothers and their mother, and especially the wife, Draupadi. All of them have gone through such a miserable aspects with dealing with a person like Duryodhana, Dushasana. It is no longer a fight between two cousins that we are seeing here, and he knew that very well. When they declared war and they agreed that they will meet at Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre, he knew very well, he has very good idea that he is actually fighting against the adharma. But once this attachment overtakes the mind, all that logic for which they are standing in front of each other, and they already started the war. In a way, Bhishma has already declared the war by blowing his conch, and similarly, everybody started doing that. He himself has done. After everything is over, suddenly such a negative feeling overtaking his mind obviously is not in line with the Kshatriya dharma. So the Kshatriya dharma has got certain as a Kshatriya, there are certain duties that he requires to perform. Yeah. So as a Kshatriya, the protecting the people, protecting the dharma is part and parcel of the duty of the Kshatriya. But the moment he recognizes or only he sees the um, relatives in front of him, not as persons who are either who have done adharma, or people like Bhishma and Drona, they might not have done adharma directly, but they are supporting adharma. By supporting Duryodhana, by deciding to fight along with the Kauravas, obviously there is no um, there should not be any doubt in Arjuna's mind. As long as they are supporting the dharma, as a Kshatriya, he has to fight a war. Whether he will win, he doesn't win a war is not in his hands. As I mentioned, people like Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, single-handedly, or Karna, for example, has actually, Karna, as per the story goes, he defeats all the four Pandavas. And fifth Pandava also is about to defeat, but because of some previous curses, etc., his chariot goes down, and one of the chariot wheels gets stuck in the mud, and he gets down to take care of that. At that particular time, Krishna says, "You shoot your arrow." So really speaking, even Karna is capable of defeating all the five Pandavas because Krishna is not fighting the war. Remember, he has promised that he will not lift a weapon, neither he will directly participate in the war. Easily they could have lost, but here, and they did not show any such mercy or any weakness. Uh, like Bhishma, for example, 10 days he has killed so many millions of uh, warriors from the Pandavas side. So they didn't show any mercy. But somehow here, Arjuna, we see, is overtaken by the attachment to the people he is seeing in front of him. Yeah. So till 31, we see that Arjuna is moved from attachment to the sorrow, complete sorrow. In fact, he says that I don't see any shreyas in fighting a war with Swajana. My own people, absolutely, I'm not finding any good by fighting the people here. That's how he has seen that. So obviously, as I mentioned, the third aspect of the samsara is actually the moha. Moha is the depression. Once you go into a depression, the mind will stop working properly. So verse 32 onwards, we will see the state of depression that Arjuna goes into, and he starts talking things which appear to be very logical, but really speaking, they don't stand any logic given the background, the history of the Kauravas and Pandavas, and the reason why they are standing in front of each other. Krishna, actually, before this war happens, Krishna goes and he says that, okay, Duryodhana, you don't want to give half. The idea was once they complete that 12 years of Aranyavasa, going into the forest, and 13th year, 1 year of Ajnatavasa, means they should not be recognized by anybody. So they go into with Virat Raj, they go into a hiding so that nobody will recognize them, including Virat Raj and that sort. So they go in, they work as almost servants in Virat Raj, despite being the kings here. Once they complete that, they are supposed to come back, and it was agreed that Duryodhana will give half the kingdom to Pandavas. So he says, okay, give us half, although we are entitled for full, but because we are agreeing, you at least give half of the kingdom to us. And this agreement was done in the presence of people like Krupacharya, Dhritarashtra, and Bhima. But unfortunately, they were not able to enforce the aspect because Duryodhana was too powerful. And Dhritarashtra, who is supposed to be the king, is because of his blind attachment to the sons, he is not able to control. So when Krishna goes and says that you give half the kingdom, they say, no, there is no way I will give you half the kingdom. And Krishna then says, okay, to avoid the war, because war is not good for anybody, neither for you nor for Pandavas, especially not for so many people who will be supporting these two kings, and many, many deaths will happen. So let us not go into a war. You give 5 villages to the 5 Pandavas. That is good enough. And Duryodhana says that I don't, not only I'll give you 5 villages, I won't give you enough place where one needle stands on the earth. I won't give you even that much land to you. So despite all the best efforts done by the Lord Krishna himself, Duryodhana says, no, no, I will not give you anything. So that is the reason why they are standing in front of each other for a war. So with this background, if Arjuna says that these are Swajanaha, these are my people, and goes into a cycle of depression that comes with that, automatically Arjuna is going through the samsara, the disease of samsara. So once this disease overtakes a person, automatically the final aspect will be the moha or the delusion. And once delusion takes over, mind will start giving you wrong decisions. So verse 32, we will read, yeah. Nakankshe vijayam Krishna
Nakankshe vijayam Krishna
nacha rajyam sukhani cha
Charajyam sukhani cha
kim no rajyena govinda
Kimno rajena govinda
kim bhogairjivitena va.
Vairjivitena va.
So here we see he is telling now Nakankshe vijayam Krishna. I do not I do not desire. Na kankshe vijayam. Kanksha is desire. I don't desire the victory. Yeah. So if then Krishna might say that if you don't desire the victory, then you will not have the kingdom. Obviously, because they are fighting for the half kingdom to be given to them. If not half, if they are able to defeat Duryodhana, then full kingdom of Kuru dynasty will come to them. So if you don't desire the victory, obviously you will not have the kingdom associated with that. Yeah. So he says, Nacha Rajyam Sukhanicha. So you will not get the kingdom. He says, no, I don't want the kingdom. So if they say, oh, if you don't have the kingdom, then you will not have the sukha associated with the kingdom. As a king, you can enjoy many things. That enjoyment will not be there for you. He says, okay, I don't want even sukha associated by being a king. And for a kshatriya, one of the things should be that he should be leading the people by becoming a king. Yeah. So he says, Nacha Rajyam Sukhanicha. Kimno Rajyena Govinda. Kimno Rajyena Govinda. Nacha Rajyam, not the kingdom, na cha Sukhani Govinda. Oh Krishna, Govinda here is Krishna. Kim Rajyena. What is the use of this kingdom? He is telling what is the use of this kingdom. Naha means for us, not in the negative na sense. Na means actually negative, but naha means us. A jewel will come into picture. For us, kim bhogaihi. Kim bhogaihi. What is the sense pleasures? Why we require that? Jivitenava. What is the use of the life itself? So he's going into a delusion to such an extent, he is telling what is the use of this life, what is the use of fighting, what is the use of this kingdom if I have to kill my own people. So this, what is the use of the sense pleasures, or what is the use of life itself? Because this is by killing our own people, killing my own people in this war, I do not see any good coming. That we have seen already in the verse 31 that he says. Now he is telling that I don't desire any kingdom, nor I desire any victory, neither I desire any sukham, that is the associated bhoga, and kim no rajyena govinda. What is the use of this rajyam? What is the use of this kingdom? Kim bhogair jivitena. What is the use of this life itself? So very typical symptoms of depression that Arjuna is going through. Why should I live? Why should I eat? Why should I drink? So what is the use in having any of this? Everything, life, it becomes meaningless, is how the Arjuna is started talking out of delusion. As I said, when emotions take over the mind, automatically the mind arrives at wrong conclusions. We'll stop here. And Manojji, you have a question?
Ji Sankarji. So since we are reading the Arjun Visad Yog, so there are many yodhas there. Why the Bisads, even though they are more sansarik than Arjuna, why the Bisads were not coming to them, only to him? Is it the coming of Visada is also the sign of improvement, actually, rather than going the delusional, you know.
We will see that in the first few verses of chapter 2. What makes Arjuna think about this? Moreover, it is more than thinking as to why others did not get, why only Arjuna is getting these kind of thoughts. We must put it in a different way. He says, despite, we see that in the few verses, first two few verses in chapter 2, he actually comes out and says he recognizes this disease of samsara that has afflicted him. He recognizes. I say disease of samsara is raga, with raga the sorrow, with sorrow the delusion, moha. This is the disease of samsara. Arjuna recognizes that, but how we should take this is, despite such a person who has seen people like Vyasa, as I mentioned, Vyasa is a contemporary of Arjuna. Dronacharya, Krupacharya, Bhishmacharya, each one of them is almost a jnani by themselves because their association with people like Vedavyasji, who they must be in great touch with them as such. So Vidura, for example, another person who is there, who is already, Vidura didn't participate because he is already a realized master. So he doesn't participate in that war at all. So despite association with such people, a caliber of such people, Krishna himself, for example, was their relative and friend right from their childhood. Despite that, Arjuna has fallen into the trap of samsara. We must see as to how difficult it is for people like us to avoid this samsara. The affliction of disease of samsara is so strong that even a person like Arjuna cannot, is not above that, so to say. But what makes Arjuna a Sishya comes out in the first few verses of chapter 2. We will go through that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions by anybody? All right. So we will stop with this and take up from verse 33 in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om